Alright, so today is going to be the startup of the 14SB and JX75 turning to one mower, which is going to be that one when it's done. And the first thing we're going to do is clean the carburetor in this one, and then after that we're going to, before I put the fuel line back on, I'm going to clean the tank because it's gross. And see if we can get this one to run a little better so we can test the self-propelled and the blade brake clutch. So I guess the only thing we're going to have to do now is get started, and hopefully this thing's not too dirty. It's probably going to be. So I'm going to get the tripod set up here, and we're going to get this thing taken apart. Alright, so we're going to get this carburetor off here, and what you're going to need is a 10mm wrench or socket to get that off, and it's over here. And first thing I do, the fuel valve I have shut off already on this, and it works fine actually. But it's already off, so we're just going to get this fuel line off of here, what's left of this poor thing. Not much, just going to leave that sit there. And the carburetor on this one actually looks in really good shape. It almost might be fairly new. It's hard to say, but we'll find out whenever we get into it. I know the governor was a little bit sticky, but I'm just gonna get this unscrewed. And this is for going up to the where the air cleaner is. So that was a little bit loud. As far as I know, besides the linkages, this is all that holds this on here, which probably is. I don't see what else could hold it on here. The other cool thing about these mowers is you can get a, I'm not sure, it's kind of hard to find now, but a kit that you can put on the side, actually I think it goes right here, if you can see that, you can put an oil filter on these things. And I think that's pretty neat. I wish they would do that with new stuff, but of course they don't. For obvious reasons, they don't want stuff to last as long. And if I can find one of those oil filter kits for these, I want to get one and put on them, just because I think it's kind of a neat thing you don't see too often. I just kind of like the idea of having that. So if I can find one for not a horrible price, then I'll probably pick one up. For some reason, yeah, that's pretty snug. Of course, you can't really see what you're doing back there either, especially where I'm sitting at. It's kind of hard to see. That way I don't block your guys' view too much, but you're probably staring at us by your light or something, for all I know. Alright, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. There we go. 3,000 miles of bolts on this. I'm just going to pull these, well, I'll leave that like that. And, well, maybe I should pull that right off. So I don't lose them, I'm going to leave them lay here. There's a little bit of crud falling out already, I think, unless I was there before. There we go. This thing's kind of in a weird spot. How's that looking there? Actually, that doesn't look too bad inside. And the linkages, let's see, I don't want to bend them. Probably, I can feel it just underneath there. Now, from the little bit of looking around that I've done, I've had these for like 2 days now at this point. So a little bit of looking around that I've done. These carburetors are pretty easy on these things to clean. There's not really much to them. If I can get this around here. I know people have said it's easier, you can take this loose and everything, but I'd rather not do that if I don't have to, but I might have to. I can smell the raw gas already, so Okay, in this gas. You might be able to see it dripping there. I got a pan up here we're gonna work out of. So I'm gonna get you guys moved up here to the bench after I wipe my hands off. And we're gonna get tearing into this thing. And I can already see inside of it, it's pretty gross. So I think that's gonna be the problem why it doesn't want to run. So I'm gonna get you cleaned up here and we're gonna start taking this thing apart. Okay, so we're gonna start tearing into this thing. And the first thing I can see is the gasket here. Slowly pull this poor thing off. Not much left of that. And actually I forgot to put a paper towel out. Put this back here. Just lay that up there for now. And I guess the first thing, we'll take the bowl off. I got a 1/2 inch socket here. Seems like that's the one that fits the best for what we got. It's not really tight anyways. So, yeah, that's pretty disgusting. Put that in the tray. Oop. Yeah, I'll say. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's probably why I didn't want to run. Wow, this poor thing. The float doesn't look too bad. I have to make sure there's no, it's not full of stuff, but I grab needle nose. I'm definitely be wearing gas doing this. Grab the needle nose here. And pull this pin out the back. I'm just gonna put that on the paper towel actually. Put both these on there. And I'm not gonna mess with any adjustments or anything because the last time this thing ran that worked, so it should in theory be alright. So I'm just gonna lift this float up. And the I can't remember exactly what this is called, but that just fell out. It's good. The float's good, it's not making any noise like there was any crap in it, any gas, so it's not bad or anything, which is good. I bet you this thing just needs cleaning, it'll probably run good. It's probably all it needs. I'll put this poor thing over here, as well as this. Just gonna clean this off a little bit. Try to get that gasket off of there so I can spray this thing down really good. This carb cleaner. There's so much junk in it. I cannot believe this thing even fired. I guess it was carb cleaner though. Probably shouldn't be leaving my toast sitting in there either. So, we're gonna try to get this gasket off of here, which will be fun. I'm gonna have to clean this tray out with brake cleaner again. And make sure it's dry before I do anything else. That's what I did with the thing right before this, because it had a little bit of stuff in the bottom of it. But before we take the that gasket off of there, I'm gonna try to get the man, I cannot think today. I cannot remember what this is called. It's still the original carburetor though, Mikuni, made in Japan. This might be interesting. I don't have another. Okay, that's not working. That screwdriver is way too big. That's not good. I really don't want to use these screwdrivers because these are our good ones, but if I'm careful when I just clean off, I think it will fit in there. Yes, it does. Oh, pfft. That's all you need is a good screwdriver. Oof. That does not feel too good in there. It's pretty rusted up. Put just a tiny bit of carb cleaner down in there. Just to help break that free, hopefully. Honestly, this doesn't work. Clean this thing. The carburetors are so cheap. I'm pretty sure I just wrecked that in there. Which I'm not surprised. It's really rusted. What I might end up doing, since I can't even get that out of there, I completely strip the poor thing out. We're just going to clean it a little bit here. You can see how yellow this stuff is. It's really bad. I'm going to clean it, and sorry there. Just make sure it's going to run. And I think I'm going to end up buying a new carb, maybe. Just because I'm hoping maybe the other one on the JX75 is actually not as in bad shape. But I hardly even put any tension on that thing, and it snapped it in there, I think. Which is not surprising. I have to make that screwdriver smaller. Just put that one off to the side. Yeah, I don't have any. Yeah, that's what happened. The bolt went out on me in there. Well, we're going to very carefully, hopefully, try not to tear this poor gasket. And I'm hoping you can still see what I'm doing, kind of. I don't know, maybe I'm better off just cleaning it off the best I can with carb cleaner, and then putting it back on and see if it runs at least. And before, this stuff was actually kind of seized up on the... It seems not bad now. Maybe what I end up doing, we're going to clean this out the best we can with carb cleaner here. And blowing it out really good, so... And I might have to, unless the one on the JX75 is in better shape, which it might be, it's hard to say. Well, I definitely know it was getting fuel, which I wasn't worried about that at the time. But that might be the route I end up going, and just getting a new carb for this poor thing. And like I said, unless the other one's better. I'm honestly impressed this thing even might have ran at one point ever with the way that looks. I'm just going to set that there. Yeah, we're not going to be able to start this thing tonight because it's getting late already. It's after almost 8:30. But we're going to at least get this thing on there. And I should be wearing gloves, don't tell me that. Actually, we just ran out of gloves out here. Have to get more. We might have some in the house though, actually, now that I think about it. But this bowl is actually pretty well, almost done. It's got a lot of rust in the bottom of it, as you can probably see. Not exactly what I was hoping to see. Yeah, I'm kind of glad to see stuff in there just because I know why it might not want to run, but at the same time, makes me want to pop the bowl off the JX75 really quick just to see if it looks any better. I think we might do that here in a second. Try a Clorox wipe here. These are bleach free too, so it's not going to hurt nothing. Doesn't appear to Yeah, that bowl's pretty bad. Doesn't seem to have changed. I'm kind of hoping the other one's a little better. And not, it's getting a new carb for like 12 bucks or whatever, unless I can find the original kind. But you might be able to see all the thread in there. How yellow it is. This thing was clean. As far as the, not the carburetor obviously, but the pan. It's actually started to corrode a lot of this in here. I'm gonna get the compressor out and we're gonna air blow this thing out just to make sure it's alright. As far as being clear, or maybe I won't. Now that I've seen this carburetor and how it looks, I don't want to spend a lot of time with it now. But at least we got a good float if we need it. Just in case the other one, he knows the other carburetor might be fine, but the float's just no good, you know. Could be either way. I mean, that's definitely cleaner than it was, but I still don't think it's going to run perfectly on that. If at all. Alright, so that was important. So, what we're going to do, I'm just going to wipe this off. Make sure that's clean. Wipe this little thing off. I don't know why I can't remember what this is called now. But you don't want to lose that. So that's about all there is to this carburetor. If I was able to get that out, then there's a series of, I guess, jets down in here that you can probably see. You can kind of see it, but that's what sprays and gives it fuel, I imagine. But you can't see them, or you can't get to it on this one. I was hoping, I bet you if I wasn't so rusty, I'd probably been able to do that. Like even this doesn't want to come clean. With carb cleaner, that's pretty bad. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to move this pan to the floor. Put the pan there, and we're just going to reassemble this thing the way it sits. Even my hand. But we're going to reassemble this thing the way it sits, just to make sure, see if it's going to run any better. At least now it should be getting more fuel than it was. So I'm going to put the little needle in, which goes in the back. Just kind of put that off to the side. It just sits in there. And put this back on. Should be the right way. And it's just a little bit loose, I guess. And put this back on. Make sure that's lined up. Just wonder if I did that wrong, but I couldn't have because it only fits on there one way. I'm probably blocking the view with my head. But yeah, the carburetor on these things are not that bad. It's not as much as I was pretty much into the whole thing. Almost. Oh, I see. There's. Take the nail in those pliers and just. This was actually really loose. Okay, there. That's back on. Put this thing back. I believe it was like this. I wish I could have cleaned that better in there. That makes me mad. Maybe we'll spray it out. It's a good sign that's coming out though, so it's not completely clogged up. Put that back on with the nut. If I was cleaning this better, then I wouldn't have done it this way at all. Alright. That's definitely cleaner than it was though, that's for sure. So I think we're going to go and pop the bolt off the JX75 just to see if that's any better looking. And then we'll put the carb back on that, tighten her down, and then we'll take the tank off and see how that looks. Well, I know it's bad, but clean that out. So we're going to just pop the bolt off the JX75 really quick. Alright, I know you're not going to be able to see much, and there's not much good lighting over here. But we're just going to see. What's that, smaller size? Okay. Must be different size completely, that's funny. Oh, okay. Oh, then I can't use this. So, alright, so I got a 10 mil wrench because the socket wouldn't fit under here. So, for some reason a different size than the other one, which is probably not right. And there's crap in this. And the fuel is off, that's smelly. Oh boy, that stinks so bad. Just gonna give it a couple. Oh wow. This bowl actually doesn't look bad at all. It's varnished, but not rusty. And the float, this one actually looks cleaner. Well, we're just gonna put that back on. Either the fuel shutoff valve's not working, or it has to be. That's a good sign though. At least this one's cleaner looking, so we might be able to save this one. And that means I'm going to clean this carburetor some other time. There's a reason why I cannot find this bolt hole anymore. Yeah, remember when I said the JX75's fuel smelled bad? I was wrong. It smells 3 times worse. That's like the, oh my god. It's like the worst smelling thing ever. Good old bad gas. And I just dropped my wrench in the crap. Lovely. So, we'll get this cleaned up here, but that's a good sign. At least that one is a lot cleaner looking. And that's good. This might be a different off-brand carb, even though it doesn't look like it. We'll find out whenever we tear into it. We make sure everything's working right with the other one that we need. Then, like I said, we're going to make sure see if this one's going to run. I think it will. I have faith in it. I think she'll fire right off, actually. Especially after we clean. This one might have fired off easier. Why the heck did they cut the spark plug wire then? That's what the deck looks like when you clean it off a little bit, though. Looks pretty nice. At least this one's a lot cleaner as far as the carb goes by the looks of it already. It just, like I said, really gummed up, but we can take care of that. So, I guess we're going to go and pop the fuel tank off the 14SB and clean that sucker out and go from there. So, the reposition, we'll put and take the fuel tank off of that. I jumped ahead just a little bit. I got the bolts loose from the shroud here. There's a bolt on this side and the same one on the other side. They're both 10 millimeter, and I took the recoil off the top. And then after that, it took let me check here, a 3/4 socket. And you gotta take the nut off the top of up here in order to take this nut off, which takes this off. If you don't, then you can't pull the shroud off, just the way I have it designed. And looking in there, this one does not have a shear flywheel key or anything, so we're good that way. So, I think all you have to do is probably take this loose. try pulling up on this. Now, hopefully, so far it looks clean. I'm gonna have to actually do this twice because I gotta get the magneto off of this thing. Pull this up out of here really quick. There's not the dipstick tube off. It's probably supposed to do that. Yep, it has to. And just rotate this around just a little bit. What am I hitting here? I want to be able to put this back on right now. No, okay, you just push that on. Okay. Let me put this back on so that we don't have any problems. It's probably where a little bit of oil is leaking from. And more nasty fuel lines. These clamps are so loose, I can do it by hand. I hope the shutoff valve's working right. If not, we have a problem here. I know I'm probably blocking your view and you can't see much, but it's actually hard for me to see what I'm doing right now. Alright, we got the tank off, which is part of the shroud. You can probably hear the crud that's in there. So, here's the drain pan from the, when we were doing the other car. And we're going to turn the fuel valve on here and see what happens. Well, not a lot. I know too much out of gas. You know, looking at it, the tank doesn't look horrible, but the stuff that's in it is. So, I'm going to open the fuel valve here. One, to let air in, and two, we're going to take the carb cleaner. Probably should be doing this. Oh, honestly, because of the rubber. So, I gotta think about that. Turn that sucker back off. I gotta figure out how you get this tank off of the shroud, which is probably just that bolt back there. I'm going to take this thing in the house and actually give it a really good cleaning because of how it looks in there. So, I'll open this back up. It's kind of weird that nothing's coming out of there. Usually, I'm not quite sure what the pickup tube in this thing is, so. The motor on this thing looks pretty clean though, other than the flywheel being a little rusty. But other than that, it doesn't look bad. So, thing for today, for this part anyways, this is where I'm going to leave you, because I'm going to take this apart here and then go and take this into the house, clean the tank and all that, and whenever I'm back next time for the next part, we put that back on, the recoil and all that, and then we're going to see if this sucker fires up, and at least runs a little better than before. So I think it will, and overall it's going pretty well. Like we saw before, the carburetor on that one actually looks pretty clean to begin with. But obviously we're going to clean it anyway. That one might actually be cleanable and everything. So if that's the case, that's good. but that one might be cleanable. And this one we're just going to put back together and make sure the brake clutch works and the speeds. And if they do, well, we're going to start swapping stuff to that one. And that's going to be interesting. I'm not sure how you get the brake clutch off, but I'll figure it out pretty quick, I think. So anyways, that's all for this part of taking the thing apart, pretty much. Cleaned the carb on a little bit. I put it back on, as you can see. And pretty much just gonna be it for this. And the next part's gonna be, like I said, putting everything back on and see if she starts. So stay tuned for the next part.